In the ancient days after the Great Flood, when the earth began to be repopulated and nations slowly formed across the lands, there stood two cities in the fertile valley of the Jordan that would become infamous throughout history: Sodom and Gomorrah. These cities were rich, thriving, and filled with abundance. Their fields were fertile, their trade was prosperous, and their people lived in comfort and luxury. But beneath the surface of their wealth, something dark had taken root: corruption, pride, and deep moral decay that had spread through every part of society. The Bible describes them as cities filled with great wickedness, where sin had become normal and righteousness was mocked. The cries of injustice and evil from Sodom and Gomorrah rose so greatly that they reached the ears of God. At that time, Abraham, the chosen servant of God, was living in the land of Canaan. One day, Abraham was visited by three mysterious travelers. In reality, these were divine messengers sent by God. Abraham welcomed them with great hospitality, offering them food and rest. During their visit, God revealed to Abraham that the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah was so severe that judgment was about to fall upon them. The Lord declared his intention to investigate the cities fully and bring justice upon their wickedness. When Abraham heard this, his heart trembled, for he knew that his nephew Lot lived in Sodom. Lot had chosen to settle near the city because of its fertile land, but eventually he moved into Sodom itself. Abraham began to intercede with God, pleading for mercy. In humility, he asked whether God would destroy the righteous along with the wicked. "What if there are 50 righteous people in the city?" Abraham asked. God responded that if 50 righteous people were found, he would spare the entire city. Encouraged, Abraham continued to negotiate, lowering the number step by step: 45, 40, 30, 20, and finally 10. Each time, God assured him that if even 10 righteous people were found, the city would be spared. This moment revealed both God's justice and his mercy, showing that he is willing to save even the wicked if righteousness is present. After this conversation, the two angels continued towards Sodom while Abraham remained in prayer. When the angels arrived at the city gates of Sodom, they found Lot sitting there. Lot immediately recognized them as holy visitors and insisted they stay at his home. He prepared a meal for them and offered them shelter, showing hospitality in a city where kindness had nearly vanished. That very night, the wickedness of Sodom revealed itself. The men of the city, both young and old, surrounded Lot's house. In a shocking display of moral corruption, they demanded that Lot bring out his guests so they could harm them. Lot stepped outside and pleaded with them, even offering his own daughters to protect his guests, but the crowd grew more violent and refused to listen. The angels pulled Lot back inside and struck the men outside with blindness, preventing them from entering the house. They then revealed their true purpose. The angels told Lot that they had been sent to destroy Sodom because its wickedness had reached its full measure before God. They instructed Lot to gather his family and leave immediately, warning him not to look back and not to stay anywhere in the plain. Judgment was coming, but mercy was being extended to him because of Abraham's faithfulness. Lot rushed to warn his sons-in-law, but they thought he was joking and refused to leave. As dawn approached, the angels urged Lot to hurry, taking his wife and 2 daughters by the hand and leading them out of the city. They warned them again, "Flee for your lives, do not look back." Lot hesitated, but because of God's mercy, he was brought safely outside the city. As soon as they reached safety, fire and burning sulfur rained down from heaven upon Sodom and Gomorrah. The entire valley was engulfed in destruction. Cities, people, and everything that had once been thriving were reduced to ashes. The judgment was complete and irreversible. But in the midst of this dramatic moment, there was one tragic act of disobedience. Lot's wife, overwhelmed by attachment to her former life, turned back to look at the destruction. In that instant, she became a pillar of salt. Her transformation stands as a powerful reminder of the danger of longing for a life that has been judged and left behind. While Lot and his daughters continued to flee, the cities were completely destroyed, leaving nothing but smoke rising from the ruins. After the destruction, Abraham went early in the morning to the place where he had stood before the Lord. From a distance, he saw the smoke rising from the land like a furnace. The cities that once symbolized wealth and pride were now a desolate wasteland. Yet in the midst of judgment, God had remembered mercy by rescuing Lot because of Abraham's intercession. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not just a tale of ancient cities destroyed by fire. It is a powerful lesson about the consequences of unchecked sin, the seriousness of divine justice, and the mercy of God toward those who are righteous. It shows how moral decay can grow silently until it consumes an entire society. It also reveals the importance of intercession, as Abraham's prayers played a role in saving Lot. Above all, it teaches that while God is patient and merciful, there is a point where justice must be carried out. Even today, the story echoes as a warning and a reflection. It challenges every generation to examine its values, to seek righteousness, and to remember that choices have consequences. Sodom and Gomorrah stand as a lasting symbol of what happens when a society turns away from truth and embraces corruption. Yet within the story is also hope, the hope that even in the midst of judgment, those who walk in righteousness and obedience can find refuge and salvation. And so the memory of those cities remains not only as ashes in history, but as a message written across time, that justice and mercy walk hand in hand, and that the heart of God always seeks righteousness in a world that often forgets it.